leaving is you people, because after I'm gone, you're still gonna pour money into this company. I'm just a spoke on the wheel. The wheel's gonna keep turning, and I understand that. But Vince McMahon's gonna make money to spite himself. He's a millionaire who should be a billionaire. You know why he's not a billionaire? It's because he surrounds himself with glad-handing, nonsensical yes men like John Laurinaitis, who's going to tell him everything that he wants to hear. And I'd like to think that maybe this company will be better after Vince McMahon's dead. But the fact is, it's going to get taken over by his idiotic daughter and his doofus son-in-law and the rest of his stupid family.
Another Black Wednesday in WWE. We are live, man. I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on. WWE fires. Because that's exactly what happened. WWE fires Aleister Black, Braun Strowman, Riott, Santana Garrett, Lana, and Buddy Murphy. And there are rumors about WWE setting themselves up to be sold. What is one man's junk is another man's treasure. WWE is making Tony Khan look like Thanos more and more every single week. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to break down these releases with the rumors of more still to come. The venue's not even open yet, but we're live right here on Off the Script. What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining me this afternoon. It's not even 3 o'clock Eastern time here on Off the Script. I'm JD from New York, and welcome to the OTS venue. We're not even open yet, man. The venue's not even open yet. Jesse didn't stock the bar with ice. There's things still need to be cleaned and mopped inside the venue, but I'm here. I am here because we have breaking news. In the IWC, in WWE. I woke up this morning, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to have a nice day off. AEW doesn't happen till Friday. There's no Dynamite on Wednesday. And I'm like, I got Wednesday and Thursday off. Great. I'm going to jump on my PS5. I'm going to raid with the guys in Destiny. Maybe get myself a nice Fatebringer or a Vex Mythoclast. No. I go to move my car because of the street cleaning here in Queens. And I'm walking to Dunkin' Donuts. Jesse texts me simply, Strowman and Black, ... I kind of knew what he meant, but it was one of those situations where it took me a little bit to actually process it all. And I'm asking myself, is he serious? Did he hear some shitty rumor by some fucking egg on social media? So I go to Twitter. First thing that shows up on my feed is Sean Ross Sapp, and he confirmed everything. Then we started to see all other outlets pretty much confirm it. WWE confirmed it. Another Black Wednesday in WWE. And these names I feel sorry for everybody that was fired previously, but I think these names are probably the most shocking of all that were let go by WWE. I don't know what's going on creatively. I really don't. I don't know what is going on in WWE. There are rumors now that WWE is potentially, this is not confirmed by any source or any outlet whatsoever, that WWE is setting themselves up to be sold. And that all these contracts were either one of two things, if not both. WWE obviously has a ton of talent that is creatively frustrated. We don't know the sheer number of people that have actually gone to WWE management and have requested their release. Most of these people today, and then the rumored names that are still yet to come. I'm not going to mention anybody because I don't want anybody to be fired. I would never wish that upon anybody. But we don't know if these names have gone to WWE and have asked to be released. You know, Aleister Black was one of those names that has requested to go back to NXT because they didn't like the way, or he didn't like the way, rather, that they were booking him on the main roster. There was just no creativity there. What Triple H was successful at with Aleister Black, Vince McMahon failed. Then you got Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman is one of those cases that he's the lone pea in a pod. I don't think WWE really did him any justice. He didn't really help his cause either because there's nothing going for Braun Strowman like Aleister Black. There's nothing going for him. He's a one-trick pony. Ruby Riott. Ruby Riott is somebody that I was shocked by. When you are highly, highly touting a women's revolution, and then you want to get rid of somebody who is probably better than 90% of that roster in the ring and is beloved by everybody backstage from what I read and has not received an opportunity like she deserves. You want to let somebody like that go? Someone who, by the way, is in a tag team, which, by the way, is probably the only legit tag team that WWE has in their entire women's division, that right now currently has 0 legit tag teams. Because I'm not sure if you guys are aware, Tamina and Natalya are not a real tag team. Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose are not a real tag team. Lana and Naomi were not a real tag team. These are teams that are pretty much stitched together with staples and Scotch tape, Elmer's glue, shit that easily falls apart. There's no substance there. No, but you want to get rid of Ruby Riott. That was one name, besides Aleister Black, that I was surprised to see fired. Then you got Buddy Murphy. I'm not surprised Buddy Murphy got fired. I mean, as soon as Wesley Blake and Steve Cutler were fired, and then I heard the rumors of WWE letting Cutler go, but keeping Wesley Blake on the roster. Then I heard the rumors that there were creative plans possibly pitched to Bruce and to Vince to pair Buddy Murphy with Wesley Blake and get that tag team back together because, you know, WWE needs tag teams. The plan got shot down. The idea got shot down. And not only does WWE shit on tag team wrestling, but they pretty much shit on Buddy Murphy ever finding a spot or an opportunity on WWE television again. The last thing that we saw Buddy Murphy do was hold hands and make out with Rey Mysterio's daughter. That was pretty much it. But we'll go over him as well. He's another guy that just did not receive a fair shake in WWE at all. He's not going to be a needle mover. He's not going to go to an AEW or an Impact or an MLW or Ring of Honor. He would thrive in New Japan. Absolutely thrive in New Japan. He is fucking amazing at what he does. But he's not the type of guy that's going to move a needle. He just wants an opportunity to show everybody how fucking good he is. That's all he wanted. Then we got Lana. You know, Lana's one of those names that I am surprised really stuck around for as long as she did. After Miro was picked up by AEW. Lana was pretty much worthless. I mean, let's be real, folks. You know, I don't really cookie cut around here. If you're new to the stream, I appreciate you stopping by. You know, I don't really dance around the topic. I'm not a fucking pussy in the community. I'm not going to hide my feelings. Let's be real. Lana was fucking awful. Lana was truly pathetic at what she did. And listen, I'm not a professional wrestler, but I damn well know what a good professional wrestler is. I've been watching WWE for the majority of my fucking life. But I know Lana is not a good professional wrestler. And as soon as Miro got picked up by AEW, she was embarrassed. Remember the whole 9 straight weeks of Nia Jax putting her through a table? You thought that was done because, oh, we're trying to build sympathy for Lana. We want people to get behind Lana. We're going to tease people with Lana winning the Raw Women's Championship. No, that was done out of sheer spite because Miro went on AEW Dynamite and cut a promo about brass rings and fucking ceilings and all this shit. Soon as they heard that, forget about it. His wife was one with the table for 9 straight weeks. It was awful. It was awful. And she was awful at what she did. So I'm surprised she lasted as long as she did in WWE. Now she can wait 90 days. Tony Khan can pick her up and pair her right back with Miro. Get more casual eyes on the AEW product now that he's TNT champion. Things will be fine. Things will be fine. Roles for all that have been released will be there. Santana Garrett was another one. Santana Garrett was released by WWE. There were plans to put her on SmackDown. I don't even know why they called her. I don't even know why they fucking hired her to begin with. She did nothing in NXT. She made an appearance in a Mae Young Classic, maybe. I believe one of the Mae Young Classics, if not 2 Mae Young Classics. They brought her back. She was used as a jobber pretty much to get other people over, other people that they wanted to push straight to the top, like a Shotzi or an EO. So Santana Garrett was used as somebody who knows what she's doing and got in there to make others look good. And she never received a fair opportunity in WWE. And they actually called her up to the main roster. Yet they did nothing with her. These are the names right now that have been released in the company. I don't know what is on the horizon. I don't know what is still looming out there as far as the releases go. Andrew Zarian of Mat Men Podcast tweeted out maybe an hour and a half ago, 2 hours ago. It was literally 30 minutes after everything was kind of breaking down on social media. He tweeted out very cryptically, more still to come, ... I don't know what that means, but Andrew has broken many a story in the past couple of weeks regarding SummerSlam, Cardi B, and all this stuff with SummerSlam, where SummerSlam's going to be in Vegas and all that stuff. So, you know, it is very difficult for me to look at that tweet and not believe him. So if he says more are on the way and more releases are coming, then you can pretty much take it to the bank that more releases are coming. But we are going to talk about all these individuals today and where I do see them ending up, what WWE is possibly doing, setting themselves up for a possible sale of the company. There are rumors going around that WWE is setting themselves up to sell the company, whether it be Disney. People are mentioning Disney. People are mentioning Amazon. People are mentioning NBC Universal. We don't know what's going on with WWE. It seems that with the power of Nick Khan, no relation to Tony Khan, he's the only Khan I want to know, no relation to Tony Khan, Nick Khan, the president of WWE, it seems that he's getting more and more power as we go on week after week after week. You know, I don't know where his power is going to take the company, but I don't like it. It doesn't feel good. And I don't really give a shit about the back end of WWE and how much money they make and the revenue that they make or all this other shit. I don't care. All I want is a company that I know can put on good television. And what I want is something that I can watch on a weekly basis, Monday and Friday, and be proud of what I'm watching. There are people in the community right now that are abandoning Monday Night Raw. There are people in the community that are not covering Monday Night Raw anymore. You know, WWE doesn't need us, But we don't hurt WWE either. We bring awareness to their product. If people hear from us and the many people that do this YouTube thing that Monday Night Raw is fucking great, you got to come back and watch Monday Night Raw. You know how influential many of us are in the community here? You know, I seen a clip from Steven Larson on Twitter floating around, and they are not covering Monday Night Raw anymore. The night of. They're going to wait till Tuesday or Wednesday when they do their other shit to cover Monday Night Raw and break it down. They're not staying up to watch Monday Night Raw anymore. They're finding other things that make them happy on Monday night because they, of all people, have realized, I want to do something that I actually enjoy on my Monday night instead of hate watching WWE. And they are not the only ones that have done that. I feel like there are fewer and fewer people covering Monday night. WWE knows it. They got to know Raw sucks. They have to know that Raw right now is in the worst possible state ever. I don't know who's left. There's me, Fightful, there's Wrestling Inc., Cronin. That's about it. I don't know how many more people are going to drop off. Many people have told me for years, dude, why are you watching Monday Night Raw? I don't know. I feel like it's a duty of mine to watch Monday Night Raw. I feel the reason why I cover Monday Night Raw is because I felt this way for years. If I don't watch Raw, then I'm going to miss out on the one good show that they actually do give us. I want to be there when it happens. I almost feel, and I don't mean to stroke my own fucking ego, I almost feel like I'm doing all of you guys a favor because I know every fucking one of you in this chat doesn't watch Monday Night Raw. And if you do, you don't enjoy it. I gladly take the bullet for you. I wonder what WWE feels about all that. They have to look at their audience dwindling every week. They have to realize there's a fucking problem. But I don't necessarily think firing half the fucking roster is going to do the right thing or is the right move. I don't know how much power Nick Khan has in WWE, but I don't like where it's going. He's already made one wrong creative decision with Adnan being added to the commentary table. He was gone after 7 weeks. But I don't know where they go, man. WWE, instead of firing an Aleister Black or a Braun Strowman or a Ruby Riott, why don't we start firing some of the people backstage in creative? Because they're the fucking reason why this show and this product are fucking terrible. I don't really know what to expect anymore. But there are rumors out there that WWE is potentially setting themselves up to sell the company. It's weird. It's very weird. But I thank you guys for joining me, man. This was a last-minute decision to go live. I did not expect to go live. I was actually planning on doing an extra with some bullshit fucking stories, but here I am with 2,600 fucking people inside the venue, man. I appreciate you guys for joining me. We're going to go over all this very quickly. I thank you for joining me. Please, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. If you're new to the channel, hit that thumbs up as well. Let's try for 1,000 likes on the live stream today. Breaking news. We got all these releases happening today with more still rumored to come. If you guys are not following me on social media, at JD from NY206, that's Twitter. That's the #1 place that you can find me on Twitter and Instagram. Same at JD from NY206. We are nearing 32,000 followers on Twitter, so thank you guys for all the love and support on social media. Like I said, hit that subscribe button if you're new. We are here every week with live streams, man. Monday Night Raw, NXT, AEW Dynamite when it is on Wednesday, SmackDown, and then the flagship podcast for Off the Script, which will be episode 379 this coming weekend. Make sure you guys also go and check out the t-shirts. If you guys want to go get some t-shirts, Bonfire is the place. Bonfire.com is the exclusive home of JD and Off the Script. And today's podcast is sponsored by Homage, homage.com. That is HOMAGE. If you guys want some great retro and vintage t-shirts, they are the place to do it. You guys can go to their website, go find what you want, use code SCRIPT at checkout for 20% off and save some money on some beautiful t-shirts, man. I got myself two. I got a Shawn Michaels retro t-shirt and a Legend of Zelda retro t-shirt, and the quality is fantastic, man. I love it. Homage.com. Use code SCRIPT at checkout. Let's go over the actual list of people that were released. Okay. We got WWE releasing Braun Strowman, Aleister Black, Ruby Riott, Lana, Santana Garrett, and Buddy Murphy. Now, again, the most shocking of all the names is Aleister Black because he was legitimately on SmackDown 2 weeks ago. He actually played a major factor in Apollo Crews retaining the Intercontinental Championship. WWE gave us 3 to 4 weeks of vignettes, which looked like they were beautifully illustrated to get this Aleister Black character on television again and pretty much hit the reset button on him after wasting him away for almost 2.5, 3 years after being called up from NXT. Aleister Black has been one of the biggest botches creatively that I can ever remember in WWE. The guy came in on NXT, and I remember it like it was yesterday, man. Aleister Black comes in, and you get the blackness of the NXT Full Sail Arena, and you got the candles lit up and down the aisle, and then you got the fog and the mist. You got his name appearing in very cryptic-like, Masonic-like letters. You got him stoically rolling down the aisle, slow walk like The Undertaker. He popped up from the ramp almost as if he's rising from a casket. He sits in the ring very stoically. The whole character was fucking great. People were labeling this guy the second coming of The Undertaker after he kind of took off in NXT. Now, nobody is going to ever be another Undertaker, but there are people that you could creatively kind of build from that essence, you know? He had Undertaker-like qualities to him. He had Undertaker-like similarities to him via the entrance. I always was a big fan of these dark characters. There's just so much that you could do with them. And then on top of that, he had the theme music, he had the look, and Jesse just texted me, Tommy N just said on Twitch, I believe he's on Twitch with his wife right now, that they just finished making his new theme song, and now it will never be heard. Probably not. Funny that he just texted me that when I'm talking about his theme music. He had the theme music. Everybody loved his theme music. From Code Orange, I believe it was, that did his theme music. Everybody loved it. He had the theme music. He had the entrance. He had the look. And then when he got in the ring and the bell rung, Tommy End, Aleister Black was fucking great. They protected the Black Mass. It was one of those things that literally came out of nowhere. It was almost the second coming of the RKO. He had everything going for him. He had great matches with Andrade. He was a part of one of the greatest storylines in WWE history with Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. That whole thing with Ciampa and the NXT title and him wanting to rid WWE of Johnny Gargano and their trilogy of matches. He was right in the center of that. He was right in the center of it. It is unreal how they botched this guy. And then they paired him with Ricochet. After his NXT title venture, they paired him with Ricochet. They won the Dusty Classic. He was a part of one of the best tag team matches that I personally have ever watched with the War Raiders, not the Viking Raiders. I wouldn't be surprised if they'll let go either. The War Raiders at NXT TakeOver New York. Absolutely phenomenal tag team match. If you guys have not watched that match, I urge you to go and watch what real tag team matches in WWE could look like if they actually gave them the time of day. And that's how he got called up to the main roster. He and Ricochet, who's another name that I would not be surprised to see let go because they're absolutely wasting this guy and everything about him, which may be a blessing in disguise if they do release somebody like Ricochet. But they called both of them up at the same time. It was that one stretch in the same week where they challenged for the NXT Tag Team Championships, the Raw Tag Team Championships after that takeover on that Monday night, and then they went to WrestleMania, and they battled for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. They went after all 3 Tag Team Championships in WWE in the same week. So one has to think, you're looking at that and saying to yourself, oh, he's going to be good. he's going to be taken care of on the main roster. He wasn't. After that tag team with Ricochet disbanded, they put him in a fucking broom closet. He was cutting cryptic promos. Nobody knew what the fuck this guy was saying. He came out finally looking to pick. He said it with that fucking accentuation on the pick. A fight with him. And then Cesaro, he came up to the plate. He stepped up to the plate and challenged Aleister Black. And they had a great series of matches. And then after that, he went right back into the broom closet, a.k.a. catering. Or he came out when he sniffed something great that Titus was cooking. Then he went right back into his fucking broom closet. And we didn't see him for months and months and months and months. And then all of a sudden we see him. He emerges on Monday Night Raw. He's fucking unknowingly helping the Mysterios with no fucking logic behind it. He gets his eyeball taken out. He's in this thing with Seth Rollins and sticking up for the Mysterios and sticking up for Humberto Carrillo. Nobody knows why. Why is he out there? WWE slowly but surely started putting him on television, but they started to strip everything about him. They took his theme music away. They took his entrance away. They gave him a fucking glass eye. They put an eye patch on him. They made him into fucking Long John Silver. Arrgh! We got Pirate Black. Walk the plank, matey. Arrgh! They put a fucking eye patch on him. They didn't do this guy any justice. How is the translation between what you saw in NXT and fucking Long John Black Silver? What is the difference? What happened there? You fucking serious? Why is there such a huge disconnect between what we saw in NXT and what we saw on the main roster? You mean to tell me? And then he goes on Twitch today, on his wife's Twitch channel, says, oh, they always were very gracious to me, very nice to me. There was just a situation where we just couldn't get on the same page about what we wanted to do creatively with this character, and then we finally got it right, and now I'm not there anymore, but I'm not blaming them. You need to blame them. He's not gonna blame them. He obviously wants to stay in good graces because we don't know if his wife is actually still signed there, which I'm hearing she is. So he's being gracious and nice because maybe his wife is still signed with the WWE, but, is that WWE not knowing what to do, or is it creative fucking sabotage? Sounds like it's sabotaging a character to me. I don't know about you guys. Either that, which I absolutely see being the case, either it's sabotage or these people are just fucking stupid. Nobody in that creative role deserves to be there, nor should be there, because of how they botched this guy. Now he's gone. They brought him back to TV. They wasted weeks of fucking beautifully illustrated vignettes with him opening his book, right, and telling the stories of the Black Father and all this stuff. He actually plays a huge role in Apollo retaining the IC title. Are they going to go over that? Why is Apollo Crews still the IC champion? Oh, Aleister Black helped him. Are they going to mention Aleister Black on television? Probably not. What are we going to do with Big E now? Big E and Black had a storyline that was being set up from that match they took last week off. He said on Twitch today that it was supposed to kind of continue on this week's SmackDown, that WWE gave them the week off to kind of let it breathe, let the attack sit in, and then they're going to go and revisit it on Friday SmackDown this coming Friday, and now he's gone. This is a situation of creative sabotage, number one, that you're not going to hear that from him or his wife or anybody else that knows him. This is creative sabotage. WWE didn't want him to go back to NXT because they knew that if Triple H got him again, that Triple H would make them, Bruce and Vince and all these guys, look like a bunch of fucking assholes. He would tell them and show them, this is how you do it. So they don't want to be showed up by Triple H, right? Look at what he did to Finn Balor. Balor's never looked better. He's on NXT. Everybody's hyping about Finn Balor. Goes to the main roster. Finn Balor is nothing but a walking toothpaste ad. Smiling everywhere, and he's got a fucking crotch shot by Kevin Dunn, one of those sweeping crotch shots when he does his thing on the ring apron. He was a walking toothpaste ad / underwear model on Monday Night Raw. They didn't know what to do. Then he goes back to NXT and he's badass Balor again. He's cutting great promos. He feels great in the ring. His in-ring work was fucking fantastic. If Aleister Black went to NXT, that would be the same thing that he would have gotten from Triple H. And they weren't going to do that for him because Vince knows and Bruce knows and people power know that all of them would look like a bunch of fools. And fools they are. And Triple H knows that. But what is he going to say? This guy was fucking botched. Where does he go? I don't know, man. I was at Double or Nothing. Tony Khan was 10 feet away from me during the post-show scrum. He said that they are expanding. We are signing more talent. Who that talent is, I don't know. Whether it's talent from Dark, whether it's talent from Elevation, whether it's talent that is now newly released from WWE. I've been saying this. You don't need to sign everybody, but I'm telling you, man, when Brian, Joe, Mickey James, and Aleister Black now are free agents, those are the guys you save the big contracts for. TNT's giving you money. Those are the names you go out and sign. I know they can't get everybody. I don't want them to get everybody because I don't want this to look like fucking WCW all over again. But you're not going to let Aleister Black be a free agent past 90 days. If this guy is not signed on day 91, somebody's doing something fucking wrong. He is too good. He will be fine. I'm assuming that he goes to AEW because everybody wants that big stage, and that's where everybody, whether they tell you or not, wants to be. That's where you want to be. You don't want to be on Who wants to be on Impact? Impact is for somebody that's on the up. Aleister Black is at the top already. He worked for WWE. He was at WrestleMania. He's a WrestleMania superstar. He didn't main event WrestleMania, but WWE is the upper echelon of the entire wrestling world right now. They're number one. Why do you want to go from number one to number four? You don't want to do that. You want to go from number one to number two. And then you want to show everybody why you should have been number one. And they're on TNT. You don't want to go on Access TV. Impact is not a place you call home. Impact is like a summer rental. You got to find permanent residency somewhere else. Give me a break with this shit. I know they can't sign everybody, but Aleister Black is too good to just sit around and work Impact or work MLW. He can go to New Japan, but I don't really know what's going on with New Japan. He'd fit right over there in New Japan, as would Buddy Murphy. Strowman would probably do well for himself in New Japan as well, you know? Look at Lance Archer. Lance Archer had fucking great times over in New Japan. But if Aleister Black is a free agent on day 91, somebody's not doing their job right. If he goes to AEW, you know, the matches, I don't need to tell you, man. Andrade, he's another guy. Andrade's another guy I could see end up in AEW. We could see that feud and those guys wrestle. I mean, Aleister Black mentioned, you and I will share the ring once again, my friend, very soon. Man, oh man, I didn't expect that to possibly happen this year. It's crazy. Andrade, Black, you got Buddy Murphy, Ruby Riott. These are names that you need to go out and sign. What does Aleister Black do if he gets to AEW? Does he just reprise this whole gimmick and do the whole Dark Father thing over there? He was clearly doing something on Instagram that was kind of differentiating himself from what we saw on WWE television. Could he go over there and just kind of do what he wants creatively? Can you imagine Tommy End creatively away from WWE doing his own thing? Holy shit. I was even telling Jesse earlier, what if we start booking the Dark Order and start weeding out the weak in the Dark Order? You got your John Silvers and you got your Evil Unos and Stu Graysons, right? And then you got your Colt Cabana. Why don't we get Tommy End to come on in and reprise the role of the Exalted One? I mean, if there's anybody out there that could fill the Exalted One role, you know, obviously and unfortunately, we all fucking miss him, Brody Lee. You know, that is a huge gap. Those are big shoes to fill. Nobody's ever going to fill Brody Lee's role. But if you want to fit Dark Order into the plans on AEW television and make them a little bit more serious and less of a comedy act, you bring in Tommy End and have him really be the fucking Dark Father. That would be awesome. I don't want to set aside that as being his only possible role if he does join AEW, but I mean, the writing's on the wall there. It's almost like a picture-perfect situation. The guy is just too talented, man. I don't understand why he was let go. And it was not a planned decision. They clearly had plans for them on SmackDown. This was a decision made after the Memorial Day holiday was over. This was not planned. He said it came out of left field. They had plans to go with him and Big E. Everything was planned behind the scenes by those who make these decisions after the Memorial Day holiday, and that was it. That was it. It was all over for Aleister Black. So I know he's going to end up, he's going to be fine. He is going to be very fine on his own away from WWE, but this is a situation where I truly believe it was creative sabotage. And the one thing is, and we don't know yet if Thea Trinidad is signed with the WWE. I was hearing from some people that I know who are in the know that Thea is signed with the WWE. She's been working at the Performance Center for what? I don't know. The last thing I read that was on the dirt sheets was that she was filming something with The Rock's daughter, Simone Johnson. We don't know. We don't know. But imagine if Aleister Black was back in the WWE in a creative role on SmackDown. They just hired his wife, and now they let him go, and his wife is still with the company. I look at that as a way to kind of get back at them through this way because they fired her because of what she did. And then Aleister Black, I'm sure there was some discussion there to bring her back. It was wrong. It was, it was an impulse decision. They brought her back. And now they let him go to spite her all over again. Something's not right there, man. Something's not right. The mentality of this company is just not right. Aleister Black will be fine. Let me know what you guys think about everything regarding Aleister Black. Where do you want him to end up? Do you want to see him go to AEW? Would you rather him go somewhere else? He's going to be fine. It's just, it's so fucking stupid how this company can't grasp great talent when it literally falls right into their lap. It's unbelievable. Triple H is handing WWE main roster all this talent, the future, on a silver platter, and they don't know what to do with it. It's crazy. Then you got Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman is a special case. Like I told you before, he is one of those guys that's sitting in his own pea in a pod. He's his own pea in a pod. Braun Strowman was released from his WWE contract for the one reason, and you probably guessed it, he was making too much money. WWE was not seeing a return on their investment. Now, this was reported by Fightful and Sean Ross Sapp. Strowman signed a monster deal, legitimately, pun intended, a monster deal with the WWE in 2019, and his contract was going into 2023. Big money. This was obviously used as a reason, a big enough reason to get him out of here and release him. Sources claim the contract would see Strowman earn over $1 million per year. And for that reason, people weren't as surprised that he got released when the news came down that WWE released Braun Strowman. Now, I want you guys to think about this in retrospect, man. Braun Strowman's making $1 million per year, right? How much do you think Roman Reigns is making? 1.5? 1.5? I can't imagine Roman Reigns, as far as a contracted employee, just based on what he's making, being a contracted employee with WWE as far as an in-ring aspect go. I'm not talking about t-shirt sales or bonuses, which I'm assuming Roman Reigns would probably mix with everything. He's up there in the $5-6 million range with merchandise and all this other shit, pay-per-view bonuses and all that stuff. Roman Reigns is probably making anywhere between $1.5 and $2 million a year for WWE. That's Roman Reigns. Nobody's Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns is easily the biggest act in all of WWE television right now. If you want to take what we see on television and you want to say Braun Strowman's making $1 million, and for example, let's say Reigns is making 1.5, even $2 million is not that far off. Do you think that Braun Strowman should be in that club with Roman Reigns making the type of money he is? Is he being booked like Roman Reigns? Does he come off like Roman Reigns? No. So if you're WWE, you're looking at Roman Reigns and what he's doing, and then you're looking at Braun Strowman and what he's doing and how he is and what he's doing as far as merchandise sales and interest for the product. Is WWE, getting their return on investment with Braun Strowman? No, they're not. So the fact that he was let go is not a surprise to me. The fact that Braun Strowman And everything we heard about him, from the documentaries to the stories behind how he was bullied and how Vince McMahon gave him an opportunity and he just came off like a WWE lifer. It looked like this was his home forever. He was let go. Braun Strowman can definitely be used in that situation where, you know, if you're a WWE employee, it is never a guarantee that you're going to be remaining with the company forever, you know? And Jesse just texted me about something. It's in the notes, brother. I'm going to talk about it because it is ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. Braun Strowman is one of those guys that everybody thought was going to be with the company, and he is now going to be used as an example that nothing is guaranteed at all. Because if you say it on a WWE documentary about how great everybody treated you, when it comes to situations like this that are going to affect their bottom line, you're just another number, brother. You're just another number. Now, WWE has been cost-cutting under Nick Khan's leadership and his new business strategy, which many speculate will end up with the WWE being sold. Strowman's last match was a WWE Championship 3-way at WrestleMania Backlash, which saw him get pinned by Bobby Lashley. And Braun Strowman didn't have a good year. He was a part of the whole stupid storyline with Shane McMahon. They added choo-choo trains. Whee! You know, the whole Braun Strowman thing. I can't do the fucking choo-choo trains anymore, man. I can't do the choo-choo trains anymore. You know, the funny thing about Braun Strowman being released, listen, I don't want to see anybody get released, but the funny thing about Braun Strowman being released is he made fun of everybody on the indies and how much money he was making several years ago, didn't he? He made fun of all the independent contracted employees on the indies, calling the indies whatever, small fry or whatever he was saying about the indies being nothing. Now, I find it funny that he is now the guy formerly known as Braun Strowman, and he himself will now be back more than likely on the indies. Does Tony Khan pick up Braun Strowman? I wouldn't want to see that. Braun Strowman's a one-trick pony, man. Braun Strowman, they ran that well dry after a year and a half. They didn't capitalize on Braun Strowman. I don't fully blame Braun Strowman. I can't blame Braun Strowman for his lack of ability in the ring. Guys like that typically don't last long. Guys like that end up being a one-trick pony. I saw it early on where all these other geeks in the IWC were fucking jerking off to Braun Strowman and the possibility of Braun Strowman being the face of the WWE. I never saw anything like that in Braun Strowman. This guy was a one-trick pony and a short shelf life, no matter how you spun it. They ran the well dry with him, throwing Reigns off the goddamn loading dock on a gurney, flipping ambulances, fucking crashing ambulances and coming out like he's fucking Terminator. You can't do that all the time. And then they had one opportunity to do Braun Strowman and really build on his momentum, give him the WWE Championship, give him a spot to really be a big name in the company, solidify him as a big name in front of the fans. They had every opportunity. Couple of years back, you guys know it because Samoa Joe went through the same thing. Samoa Joe wrestled Brock Lesnar at Great Balls of Fire. And that was a great promo between him and Heyman and him and Lesnar. Great back and forth that led to that match. The build was great. I would have advocated for Samoa Joe to beat Brock Lesnar, to be quite honest with you. In fact, if I go back and rewatch my old shit, I probably did. I said the same thing about Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman at that point should have already been the WWE champion. But they didn't pull the trigger on him. Then they waited. Lesnar beat him. Then they tried again, and they didn't pull the trigger again. Whether it was behavior things backstage, respect, that he was running his mouth backstage and thought who he was at an early stage of his career. I don't know if those rumors are true. I don't know how legit all that stuff was behind the scenes of why he was derailed time and time and time again. But if WWE actually pulled the trigger on this guy 2.5, 3 years ago, then we probably wouldn't be sitting here hating Braun Strowman as much as we all do. Now he's left a bad taste in our mouth. WWE let him down creatively. Braun Strowman's lack of ability in the ring and pretty much revealing himself to be a one-trick pony didn't help his cause either. WWE got behind him simply because he was a big guy who could run fast and could do great things, great feats of strength, and they can make money off of it. After that, you're going to have to show me that you could wrestle at least a little bit, man. You can't be wrestling Roman Reigns every week. And everything else that he did for the last 2 years was complete shit. He was given a Universal Championship run. He won the championship against Bill Goldberg last year in a match that clearly did not make any sense whatsoever. Don't even know why the fuck he was there. He went into a feud with Bray Wyatt for 4 months. That was a complete waste of everybody's fucking time. He was a transitional champion. That's all they thought about when they thought Braun Strowman. He was a guy, big, fast, plug into something, will get by, and then we're not really going to give him what he really deserves. That's it. He was a one-trick pony. He's going to take what he learned here, go somewhere else, and he's going to be a one-trick pony. I'm sure he'll make somebody some money. I'm sure he'll make some money, not on the level of WWE money, but he is not going to really amount to anything because what you saw of him in WWE is exactly what you're going to get. What is he going to be named as? What is his new alias going to be? We don't know. And quite frankly, I don't care. The fact that Braun Strowman was released is not surprising to me. I never want to see anybody lose their job. But for somebody like that who has limited ability, I think we've seen all that we can of Braun Strowman, and it's not going to really hurt WWE television. So for everybody that's saying, oh my, I can't believe they released Braun Strowman, believe me, you are not going to miss Braun Strowman on WWE television because I know that I'm not. Ruby Riott, she was released by WWE. So was Buddy Murphy. Ruby Riott and Buddy Murphy were just some of the names released today on top of Aleister Black and Braun Strowman. Ruby Riott came to a surprise, or came as a surprise to me, I should say. She did absolutely nothing in WWE as far as her main roster run goes. Remember when the Riot Squad was a thing and we had Sarah Logan and we had Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan as the Riot Squad? How many weeks? This was well before Sasha Banks went on sabbatical and walked out on WWE after that whole debacle when they lost the tag team championships to the Iconics. You guys wonder why Sasha Banks left WWE and wanted to quit WWE in that period of her career. Having Sasha Banks and Bayley mixing opponents or mixing tag team partners, I should say, with whether it was Mickie James or Natalya or fucking whoever else they would pull from catering, Dana Brooke, whatever the case may be, it was legitimately, out of 52 weeks in the year, I would say a good 45 weeks of that particular year before they won the Women's Tag Team Championships at the Hell in a Cell. 45 weeks out of the 52 weeks in that year, they wrestled the Riot Squad on television, whether it was a 6-woman tag, whether it was a tag team match between two Riot Squad members, Sasha and Bayley, whether it was a one-on-one match between Sasha and Ruby, Sasha and Sarah, Sarah and Bayley, Liv and Bayley, Liv and Sasha. It was the Riot Squad and Sasha Bayley for the majority of that year. That's it. That's all they did. Ruby Riott sat in the back. Liv Morgan sat in the back. They didn't really do anything. Sarah Logan got fired. And then WWE put them back together because Ruby was injured. And they didn't really have any creative plans for Ruby Riott. So they thought, hey, why don't we do something with her and Liv Morgan? Again, we got nothing for Liv. We got nothing for Ruby. Let's pair them together. It'll give us some sort of an idea and a direction for what we want to do with these two guys. And that's it. That was pretty much it. But the one thing here, and I hope it's not the case if she is released later on today, because, like I said, Andrew Zarian is tweeting that there are more to come. Not only is Liv Morgan the smartest person in the room, but she may be the luckiest person in the room. I don't know where any of these talents are going to end up. I don't know if any of these talents have a plan B or plan C after life in wrestling. But Liv Morgan, smart as she is, sees the writing on the wall. She knows that her time in WWE is very temporary, and she knows that WWE doesn't really find any value in her. She knows that WWE is not going to give her an opportunity. She is dating or in a serious relationship with Bo Dallas, and they have a family real estate company. They live on a farm. They have a family real estate company. They are getting, and Bo Dallas was one of the names in the last Black Wednesday that got released. So they are making life for themselves after pro wrestling. She sees everything that's happening, and she took the time to go learn another craft and make sure that she's set so that when she does get released, because you know what's going to happen eventually, or if her contract runs up, if it's fortunate enough to run up or run out, and then you could walk away on your own accord without having them to fire you, you're set. You can go and do what you got to do, and life after pro wrestling, life after your WWE career is on its way to happening. And then that leaves the door open for you. You got your new career. If you want to dabble in pro wrestling again, you are the maker of your own fate. You could go to AEW. You could sign with Impact for a little bit. You could sign with Ring of Honor. You could feel it out. But pro wrestling's not going to be number one anymore. Your life with Bo and your real estate company is going to be number one. And then wrestling's going to be number two. And then at that point, you control your own destiny. You could balance it how you want. So she's the smartest person in the room. WWE are a bunch of fools for releasing Ruby Riott. In a day and age where women's wrestling is such a politically driven fucking thing, the evolution, the revolution, women's wrestling, women's rights, and all this shit, Ruby Riott being let go, you look like a bunch of fucking fools for letting someone like this go. I want you all to be aware. And, you know, I got some people that I'm very cool with in WWE, but I think their opinion here is a little jaded. How does it look good when Ruby Riott and Mickie James, Peyton Royce and Billie Kay, no matter how subpar that they were, they had a fan base. I wasn't one of those fans of the Iconics, but you got four women there. Santana Garrett as well, who is very good at what she does, never really given an opportunity to show anybody how good she is. More women still probably released. How does it look that WWE has Eva Marie signed to a Monday Night Raw contract, and that is the woman that you're going to push and strap the rocket to on Monday Night Raw? How ridiculous does it look for the women's revolution to have Eva fucking Marie be the face of women's wrestling on Monday Night Raw next to Charlotte and Asuka, and you're letting somebody like Ruby Riott, who could probably wrestle circles around everybody on that roster, let go? I don't get it. How does Ruby Riott get let go when Nia Jax, who's injured fucking half of the women's roster, who can't do shit in the ring, who's fucking awful at what she does, how is Nia Jax still employed by this company? Oh, that's right. She's Samoan and she's related to Dwayne Johnson. Great. It's nice to know that you suck at your fucking job, but you have family ties that keep your job security safe. It's great. Dana Brooke is another one. Dana Brooke, for 5 years, 6 years, I've been told, oh, you got to give Dana Brooke a chance. She's getting better. I see no growth in Dana Brooke. In fact, she's getting worse week by week, the more that I see her. But Dana Brooke is still employed by WWE, but you let Ruby Riott go. Then I see some people on social media claiming, oh, Ruby Riott never would have made it on the main roster. I don't know how she made it to the main roster to begin with. She got a terrible look and this and that, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. But I'm sitting here thinking, okay, you're saying that about Ruby Riott, but everybody loves Rhea Ripley. What's the difference between Rhea Ripley and Ruby Riott? They're one and the same. Rhea's bigger. Ruby Riott's got more tattoos. They're one and the same. They listen to the same fucking music. They got the same goddamn look. They got the same fucking haircut. One's bigger than the other. One's been given more opportunity than the other. But everybody's praising Rhea for what? Rhea is fucking garbage. The way she's booked creatively has been a fucking legit nightmare. Pun intended. But Ruby Riott was let go. I don't see the difference there. In fact, I would take Ruby over Rhea at this point. I'd push Ruby over Rhea. There's nothing redeeming about Rhea Ripley. How this woman couldn't find work in WWE is fucking criminal. How this woman wasn't given the opportunity to go back down to NXT like Ember Moon is also fucking criminal. Just let her go. Liv Morgan tweeted out, anybody that picks up Heidi Lovelace and puts her in their locker room is the real winner. She was universally loved by everybody in WWE. Everybody in that locker room loved Ruby Riott. And that was the backstage feeling there with Ruby Riott. I don't really know what else to say in regards to that, but anybody that picks her up, man, AEW wants a thriving women's division. Heidi Lovelace needs to come out on Dynamite and go after Britt Baker on that AEW Women's Championship. You want to start building women's wrestling on Dynamite? You want to show how WWE has dropped the ball with women's wrestling, especially this year? Then you sign Ruby Riott to an AEW contract and give her a stage to show everybody what she can actually do. I think it's time she breaks out. Buddy Murphy, there's not really much I could say about Buddy Murphy, man. Buddy Murphy was never given an opportunity. He had incredible matches on 205 Live, and that's pretty much the extent of his career. He had this little thing with Seth Rollins with the Messiah gimmick, but it really never amounted to anything. The writing was on the wall for Buddy Murphy when Rollins went away and took care of Becky during her pregnancy. They didn't do anything. They tried for a couple weeks, and then before you know it, the entire Mysterio, Buddy Murphy, Aaliyah storyline was dropped. It was completely dropped. He was never seen again. He was seen maybe once before when Rollins was actually there. They put him in a fucking promo or a segment with Rollins, and that was it. They couldn't find anything for this guy to do, which is also criminal. Buddy Murphy is not going to be a needle mover. He's not going to be one of those guys that I'm going to go out in there and say, oh, you got to sign him because he's going to be a big deal. No, I'm not saying that. But if you don't find the potential in Buddy Murphy, man, you're just turning a blind eye away from the actual talent that WWE has not given an opportunity to. I don't really get it. They couldn't find anything for this guy to do. You mean to tell me he couldn't go back down to NXT and do something? You mean to tell me you don't need tag teams on the main roster? You couldn't pair him with Wesley Blake and come up with something creative for both of them to do? Meanwhile, Jackson Riker is still on fucking TV and Buddy Murphy is fucking fired? It's unbelievable with these fucking people, man. The lack of bullshit and the lack of just, all right, yeah, we're going to give up on this guy and just bury him in fucking catering. It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous how the amount of talent that they got is wasted every single time I read something like this, man. Murphy, it says that he was easy to work with, generally receptive to creative, and it was not in the creative forecast for WWE to put him on TV. Wesley Blake got released. There were pitches for Murphy to team with Wesley Blake again, but obviously that idea was shot down. You need tag teams. Why couldn't you go and do that? Give yourself another solid tag team on Monday or Friday night. Nah, we don't need it. We'll just pair fucking Elias and Jackson Riker together. We'll pair AJ Styles and Omos together. Absolutely ridiculous, man. They should be fucking ashamed of themselves. He could go anywhere. He could have matches in AEW. Again, I'm mentioning AEW because that's a prime landing spot for anybody. Whether they pick them up or not remains to be seen, but that's going to be a prime landing spot and a destination, a desirable one for a lot of people. Buddy Murphy versus Pentagon, Buddy Murphy versus Phoenix, Buddy Murphy versus Jungle Boy, Buddy Murphy versus Darby Allin, Buddy Murphy versus Kenny Omega. I mean, the list goes on and on. I mean, if you don't think Buddy Murphy could fit into that TNT title picture right away on day one, you're a complete fucking buffoon. The guy is incredible at what he does. And he's not there anymore because WWE just didn't know what to do with him. Yet we got fucking Eva Marie on the active roster. Everybody is coming down on WWE now for the fact that they're promoting within an hour of these people being released. Eva Marie was touting about her upcoming debut. You know, it's not really a good look when we all know that you fucking suck at what you do and that you're generally despised by the majority of the audience. Meanwhile, 5 or 6 people lost their fucking job today. Some of which who should have never even been fired. Lana's the other one. I mean, what do you want me to say about Lana? As soon as Miro was fired, there was nothing for Lana to do. Nobody was ever going to believe in Lana. Where Lana thrived, it was as a mouthpiece for Rusev, a.k.a. Miro, now in AEW. That's it. Tony Khan's going to sign Lana. Tony Khan's going to put Lana back with Miro, wife and husband, real life wife and husband, and that's going to be his future on Dynamite. So now everything has come full circle for him. Don't worry. Miro being the TNT champion, I think he's got some fucking pull in AEW. Hey, boss man, my wife's a free agent. Let's get her back on Dynamite. Let's get her back on TV and pair us together like we used to have in WWE and show everybody how it's done. Simple. It's a very simple concept. Not saying everybody's going to go to AEW, but Lana joining Miro just is one of those ideal situations that, I mean, if I'm Tony Khan, it's a fucking no-brainer. It really is a no-brainer. WWE, what are we doing? There's more rumors about releases still to come. I'm hearing Jeff Hardy could possibly be released. I'm hearing that Humberto Carrillo could be released. I'm hearing Mia Yim. I'm hearing Keith Lee. I'm hearing Angel Garza. I'm hearing Drew Gulak. Gulak was another one to keep an eye on because he signed a 5-year deal last time he was a free agent, sometime last year. He's another guy to look at. I'm not saying these people are getting fired, but these are the names that I see floating out there in a variety of different circles. Would I be surprised to see Keith Lee being released? No. Would I be surprised to see Mia Yim be released? No. Mia Yim was supposed to debut on SmackDown 6 weeks ago, and we haven't seen her yet. So WWE could absolutely let both of them go. Is WWE ever going to do anything with Humberto? No. And after he broke Sheamus' nose on Monday night, that may be all the reason to fire him now. Angel Garza? They don't know what the fuck they're doing with Angel Garza. Guy was a fucking Lothario. He was a great get in NXT. Brought to the main roster, sat around doing nothing. They teamed him with Andrade, which was a great thing. They had Thea Trinidad as their mouthpiece. Then they broke them up. Then he sat in catering, and they don't know what to do. He's like the Bachelor's fucking number one guy, carrying a rose around, sticking roses up people's asses. Nobody knows what they're doing with Angel Garza. This guy was labeled the next coming of Eddie Guerrero. Everything about Eddie Guerrero people saw in Angel Garza, and this is what they're doing with him. This is what they've done with Angel Garza. Drew Gulak, I could see being released, like I just said. You know, these are names I'm hearing. Jeff Hardy, I heard, has been wanting out of WWE. He doesn't want to be there anymore. I mean, the last we saw of him, he was jobbing to Jinder Mahal. He doesn't have a role on Monday Night Raw at all. Probably wants to go join his brother and wind his career down. Maybe Hardy's and AEW come to some sort of agreement. Maybe we get one last Hardy run for the tag team championships. That's where he's going to end up. That's somebody that's going to end up in AEW. But I don't really want to say those are the names for sure that are being released, but those are the names that I heard. But what is WWE going to do with all these releases? The last batch of releases, mixed with this batch of releases, mixed with 3 hours of Raw and 2 hours of SmackDown, and clearly and obviously a shortened roster on both ends. I don't know what we do creatively. I don't care how much money WWE makes. I don't care what happens with WWE's financials. I don't give a shit about Nick Khan. I don't care how much money Vince McMahon is making year over year, quarter after quarter. I don't care. Neither should you. You and I need to care about how to make the TV better. To these fucking buffoons, if the TV's better, then more money is being made. If the TV is better, more people are interested in the product. More people would be interested in buying merchandise. More people would be interested to go watch your bullshit live in an arena now that people are getting back into live arenas. And everything would be up. YouTube would be up. Us as podcasters, interest in us would be up. We would be projecting that to the audience. Everything would be up. Nobody wants to make the fucking television better. All they want to do is make their fucking money. That's all they care about. They don't give a fuck about the talent. You are just a fucking number. That is it. They don't give a shit about anybody there. Everybody that was released is better off for it. This is the single worst abusive fucking situation as far as talent goes that I've ever seen. It may actually be a situation that we're looking at years from now asking what went wrong. while WWE is led by new ownership. And everybody's going to be better off for it. The misuse of talent in the WWE is absolutely sickening. I want you to think of the current roster right now. Think of the current roster that you're watching right now on WWE, on Raw and on SmackDown. I want you to ask yourself, who is being booked to their full potential? Who? Is anybody on Monday Night Raw being booked to their full potential? Is AJ Styles being booked to his full potential? He's one of the greatest pro wrestlers on the planet. Is he being booked to his full potential? No, he's fucking playing second fiddle to Omos as tag team champion. That's not full potential for AJ Styles. Is Randy Orton being used to full potential? No. What about Bray Wyatt? What about The Fiend? Not even on television. Is Charlotte Flair being used the way that she should be used? Probably. But even her, there's nothing significant or special about Charlotte Flair. Sasha Banks, even when she was SmackDown champion, she wasn't even being used to her full potential. Bianca Belair has fallen to the wayside. She feels like everybody else. Bayley, after Sasha Banks and the feud with Sasha, Bayley hasn't done anything. Drew McIntyre, everybody is absolutely sick and fucking tired of Drew McIntyre on Monday night. Bobby Lashley, he became champion. Everybody rejoiced. I was the only one in the community who said, Bobby Lashley's not going to run Monday Night Raw. He's not the face of WWE. This is a transitional thing. Bobby Lashley is now dancing around with scantily clad women on Monday Night Raw, and that's pretty much what we know of his WWE title run. Scantily clad women that MVP hires every week. He's got a nice 5 rotation of women every week, and nothing but Drew McIntyre rematches every single pay-per-view. Then you look on SmackDown. Is anybody on SmackDown being booked to their full potential? I know 3 guys that jump off the top of the fucking head to a lot of people. 3 guys that jump off the page: Roman Reigns, Jimmy, and Jey Uso. Other than that, nobody's being booked to their full potential. The only people in the WWE that are being booked to their full potential are Roman Reigns, Jimmy, and Jey Uso. And that is it. Everybody else is fucking ordinary, just bullshit. There's no character, there's no investment, there's no reason to care for anybody. If WWE took the time and effort that they put into Roman Reigns and Jimmy and Jey Uso, if they took that time and put at least 25% of that effort into everybody else on the roster, these shows would be better off for it. But nobody gives a shit. I wonder if they do give a shit. They realize it, but they just are so enamored with the money that they're making that there's no get up and go. Oh, we're making money. They're watching anyway, but we're really not because people are dropping off like fucking flies. And we're making our money, and that's all we care about. With all these roster cuts and WWE making potentially more later on today or tomorrow, one has to ask themselves, what does WWE do creatively? I mean, we're looking at a situation now where SmackDown and Raw lost some serious talent and more to come. How does WWE keep Monday Night Raw afloat? How does SmackDown stay afloat? Every single week, and you guys know it, stop supporting garbage. Stop making excuses. Monday Night Raw is in the absolute worst shape it has ever been in 28 years. SmackDown would be just as bad as Raw if Roman Reigns did not exist on this show. I mean, everybody on these shows is criminally mishandled. We all know that. But WWE is doing us no favor by giving us rematches every single week. It is now time to merge the rosters. The only way these shows stay afloat is if WWE merges Raw and SmackDown. They want to weed out fucking all the people that they're not using. Let's start to weed out all of the people that you don't want to use and start merging these rosters together to give us a fresh take on WWE. There's no more need for split rosters. There's no more need. All these superstars end up on the same pay-per-view anyway. There's no need for 2 women's championships. There's no need for 2 tag team championships. There's no need for women's tag team championships. There's no fucking division. 1 world title, 1 mid-card, or 2 mid-card titles, US and IC title, keep them, 1 tag team title, and 1 women's title, and that is it. That is it. How is Monday Night Raw going to stay afloat in its current state? You can't do it no more. Does all of this lead to WWE hitting the reset button at some point this year and saying the brand split is over? Is that even possible? Monday Night Raw is on USA, which is owned by NBC Universal. Fox is SmackDown. That's a completely different network. Will there be a conflict of interest there? Does Fox want to merge roster with USA? Do they want to share rosters? Do they want their own separate rosters? At this point, I don't give a shit. You got to do what's best for the fucking brand. You got to do what's best for WWE and its talent. For far too long, money has been the underlying factor that has ruined WWE. You can make your fucking money, but also have a damn good product at the same time. What about us? What about us as fans? Do you give a fuck that these shows suck? Start doing something about it. Start doing something about it. It's fucking ridiculous what we gotta go through every fucking week. Is WWE being sold? I don't know. Hearing Disney, I'm hearing Amazon. For all we know, NBC Universal could be lining up to buy WWE. They already sold a fucking network for $1 billion to NBC Universal. NBC is in bed with WWE for the next 5 years. WWE's got a deal with Fox for the next 3 years. By the time that deal is up, WWE will still have the network on Peacock, which is owned by NBC Universal. Monday Night Raw is already on USA, which is owned by NBC Universal. Is WWE going to sell more rights fees to NBC Universal, sell the company to NBC Universal, get SmackDown back over on the NBC side of things so they own the entire WWE umbrella? And do we get Vince McMahon pulling a Dana White? Dana White's still in charge of UFC, right? WWE and Vince could sell WWE. He could step out of the way. He could keep Triple H and Stephanie McMahon and Shane McMahon running the day-to-day operations like Dana White is running the UFC right now. And that's the rumor going around, that WWE is cutting off all of these unwanted contracts for a possible sale of the company. I don't know. It's being talked about. I don't give a fuck who buys the company. Good luck buying the company. You're buying a shit product. But good luck selling that company at whatever price you're trying to get for it. Whoever buys it, God bless them. Hopefully they do something better with it than Vince McMahon does. But that's the rumor going around right now. I don't know if that's necessarily true or when that's going to happen. You know, WrestleMania is going to Texas next year, WrestleMania 38. We got WrestleMania 39 in Los Angeles. WrestleMania 40 sounds like a good round number to really just ride this wave into Las Vegas, the rumored place of WrestleMania 40. Nice round number. Sell the fucking company by the time we hit the big 4-0, the 40th anniversary of WrestleMania. I don't know. I don't know what is going to happen. But WWE, they need to do something to fix everything that's wrong here. And I don't know what is going to happen creatively, but nobody should be surprised that they let anybody go. Nobody should be surprised that they let anybody go, man, because look at how long it took them to turn Roman Reigns heel. It took them 6-7 years to turn Roman Reigns heel and finally do what needed to be done with Roman Reigns. And if it took them that long to come up with one simple solution on how to fix Roman Reigns and make this guy's career memorable for the rest of his time in WWE, why are you surprised that they ruined all these talents that they let go? Not only with this Black Wednesday, but the last Black Wednesday and the Black Wednesday before that happened. It took them 7 years to finally realize what happened with Roman Reigns. It's ridiculous. It is so sad that this is the current state of WWE. And I'm not saying all these people are going to go to AEW, but with every move like this, AEW is becoming stronger and stronger. This is what happens when WWE, gets greedy. Then they become the enemy. They made themselves the enemy here. You, all these years, trying to stop AEW. The AEW effect, it's fucking real, folks. Whether you want to admit it or not, believe it or not, it's real. Braun Strowman and all these people being locked into multi-year deals for 5 years. WWE was never handing out 5-year contracts. The only reason why they were being given 5-year contracts was because WWE wanted to lock everybody down and keep them away from AEW. Now, all of that greediness and locking people away and doing all these big money contracts so that they don't go anywhere else, now it's coming back to bite WWE in the ass. It's amazing how that edict, how that mentality is now changed. WWE is not signing people to 5-year contracts and locking them down and keeping them going from somewhere else anymore. They are willingly feeding every other wrestling promotion you could possibly imagine. Pro wrestling and all these surrounding companies, once upon a time, were all doom and gloom. Nobody knew if they were going to be able to survive, exist. Everybody was being swallowed up by WWE and AEW because they had big money backers in the Khan family and McMahon. And now all of these wrestling companies are being fed superstars, and it's almost like a rebirth of pro wrestling. WWE's mentality is no longer to keep people away from other companies. That's the most interesting fact of all. But this is what happens. WWE did this to themselves. When these pro wrestlers look back and ask, why am I gone? What happened to my 5-year guaranteed deal? Nothing's guaranteed. WWE only kept you around with them because they didn't want you to go somewhere else. So that is everything that I got. That is everything that I have for you, man. The releases, more rumored still to come. I don't know what's going to happen. We may get some news breaking later today. We will find out. We got 3,000 people in the chat. That is crazy. Everybody in the chat is expecting Keith Lee to be released. Everybody in the chat is expecting Liv Morgan and Mia Yim to be released. We will find out sooner rather than later, folks. But I appreciate you stopping by, man. It's one hell of a stream today, man. One hell of a stream. I'm glad you stopped by. We are going to go over the super chats. If I hear anything else, I want you guys to be aware. If I hear anything else, a video will be promptly uploaded on anything else that happens WWE release-wise today or tomorrow. It is what it is, man. We will see what is going to happen when it drops. I'm not going to speculate anything. I'm not going to wait around. I wanted to get this up for you guys, but I appreciate 3,100 people stopping by here today, man. It was fucking awesome. I appreciate you very much. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up as well. We are well on our way to 1,300 likes. Let's try and get 1,500 before we get out of here, man. But if you guys want to stick around, we're going to go over some super chats. You can chime in and ask me anything you want on these WWE releases, man. So let's get to the super chats. And the chat is open. The chat is open, man. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206. That's Twitter and Instagram. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications. And go check out Homage, who sponsored the show today. Homage.com. That's HOMAGE.com. Use code SCRIPT at checkout if you guys want some beautiful and quality retro and vintage t-shirts. Steve Wynyard with a $5 UK super chat. The Aleister Black one makes 0 cents right now. They just did all the Dark Father promos and started a feud with Big E. Tommy End vs. Pac. Take my money. Imagine that, man. Pac versus Andrade. Pac versus Black. Tommy End. Pac versus Murphy. Ugh. Tony Khan is licking his fucking chops right now, man. Demon G with a $4.99 super chat. Damn, JD. No more stupid or wee. I'm going to truly miss that from you. Love you, bro. Keep doing you. Depends on where he shows up, man. We'll always keep the Stone Express. But it looks like the Strowman Express has derailed for now. Flamio with a $9.99 super chat. After years, that CM Punk pipe bomb is still relevant and proving to be true in 2021. With that being said, is Big E going to act like he didn't get screwed? This business is truly in trouble. I don't know, man. I don't know what awaits Big E, but they'll probably run the Big E, Aleister Black stuff into the ground. They'll forget it. And they'll probably just continue doing Big E and Apollo Crews. No one WWE and Bruce. Steve Wynyard with a $5 UK. That's 10 total from Steve. So they brought in Eva and let Ruby Riott go a few months later. Clueless, makes me sick. Tony, sign her up. She would be great for the AEW women's division. Absolutely. Prince with a $9.99 super chat. What's up, JD? Hate that Black and Ruby are gone. So much potential. They will definitely shine somewhere else. And Vince will hate it. They need to send Naomi over to Roman and Usos if they don't release her. I would love if Naomi joins the bloodline. I really would. Roman could definitely have some fun with that, man. I think that would be great. Kenley Pierre with a $2 super chat. If Adam Cole is gone, tides will favor AEW. Adam Cole being gone, bro, you know, I would love if Cole joined AEW, but the tides are already in favor of AEW. The Gary Sphere with a $5 super chat. Hey, JD, how much roughly were the Double or Nothing tickets? Trying to plan a trip to All Out. Will hopefully have the money to make it. Gary, I don't know what the ticket prices are for general tickets. I know Double or Nothing, they were selling combo tickets. You were getting, I believe, FanFest, Dynamite Friday, and then Double or Nothing Saturday, Sunday rather, with the FanFest happening on Saturday. I think it was a combo deal like $7,500 or something like that. Don't know what they'll be for All Out. They'll probably be more expensive, being that they'll be back in an actual venue. But I have no idea. What I did is I got press passes. So I was able to get in via press. I was part of media. So that's that, man. But I'd love to have you. If you're going to be in Chicago, man, Jesse and I would love to have you. Sean Swaby with a $5 super chat. CM Punk said this 10 years ago, and it still rings true. WWE can fire 80% of the roster, and it won't hurt them. It won't hurt them, but nobody's going to care. Michael Cuomo with a $4.99 super chat. Not using his WWE slave name anymore. Tommy End is on Twitch right now talking about it. I did catch it before I went live myself, and he looked a little heartbroken, man. He looked a little sad. You know, he looked a little teary-eyed, a little emotional in the voice, but he will be fine, man. Believe me, Tommy End will be fine. He's going to use this. He's going to sit home for 90 days. He's going to think creatively. He's going to come back and show the world that he was that true change that we all desperately needed on either Monday or Friday. Francis Loop with a $10 super chat. I would put Aleister Black with the Dark Order as like a figurehead for now, but not a Brody Lee replacement, but make them edgier. And, of course, put Lana with Miro. Santana Garrett can go to Elevation. I could see Santana Garrett ending up in Impact, bro. They got a great women's division over there. King Mo with two $4.99 super chats. Actually surprised they released Braun since Vince loves big, sweaty men. AEW must feel like a kid in a candy store right now. I was watching the movie Hitcher and I had to stop and watch this when I seen the heading highlighted across my phone. Braun is a shocker, definitely. Braun is not going to be missed, man. I don't think Braun is going to sink away from WWE. There's something that just isn't interesting there. He's going to have a very difficult time reinventing himself, man. Like I said, he's a one-trick pony. Issa, the NYC Demon Diva, representing in the venue with a $2.99 super chat. She says, no days off. Damn right, Issa. If I wasn't Mr. No Days Off, I mean, Everybody would have to result in watching the Wrestle Geeks, and nobody wants that. Yukno Eli with a $9.99 super chat. He says, or she says, sorry, man. Hashtag free Rick O'Shea. Francis Loop with a $5 super chat. More rematches now than ever. If they sell to Disney, it will definitely be a kid's show. They will try to have Brock Lesnar throw pancakes. Who the fuck knows, man? Maybe they released everybody because Lesnar's coming back and they want to spare up some fucking contract money for Brock Lesnar. The Dud with a $2 super chat. If Disney buys WWE, we riot. Pun intended. Future Gaming with a $5 super chat. All these releases, but people like Nia Jax and Jackson Riker are still employed. WWE's ratings will continue to fall. That's what I said before, man. All these people released, but Nia Jackson, Dana Brooke, and Eva Marie are still on the roster. Daniel Rodriguez. They fired Black and Strowman, but kept Jackson Riker and Dana Brooke. This is beyond me. Wouldn't be surprised if Ricochet is next. Hashtag bring the markers, JD. Next time I will, man. I don't show up with markers anywhere because, I mean, really, who the fuck wants my autograph? That's something I'll just never get over, man. Davey Thompson with a $2 super chat. Releasing Aleister Black. Vince has lost his mind. I don't think releasing Black was planned. I do think it was one of those last-minute decisions, but he must have been making a lot of money for them to release someone like him, man. I don't believe it. Jose Salazar with a $5 super chat. Tommy N just had a live stream on Twitch. He's really positive and even said he was slotted to win the United States title, but Vince said, not in front of no fans. The United States title is on Raw. Maybe when he was on Raw. That was before they moved him to SmackDown and had Dana Brooke and Titus O'Neil drafted ahead of him. So SmackDown has the Intercontinental title. Francis Loop with a $10 super chat. They should release Shayna Baszler. She would be perfect in AEW taking on Riho, Serena Deeb, Nyla Rose, Hikaru Shida, Ty Conti, Layla Hirsch, Thunder Rosa for starters. Now they're getting ready to feed Shayna Baszler to Alexa Bliss and then they'll release her. King Mo with a $1.99 super chat. I want great TV. I don't like where it's going. You and me both, King Mo. You and me and everybody in this chat. Jacob Donnelly with a $5 super chat. Just saying All Out is 94 days away. That has potential to be a huge show. Like I said before, Jacob, WWE, their mentality and their edict has changed. They're no longer signing people and keeping them away from other companies. You know? All Out, we could see Samoa Joe, we could see Black, we could see Andrade, we could see Daniel Bryan for all we know, man. Remember, Bryan is still a free agent. Matt Eagle with a $4.99 super chat. So instead of admitting that Triple H is better at creating stars, Vince and his yes men would rather fire the future of the company. This lacks logic, JD. Yeah. Their ego is unreal. They would rather fire the future instead of having Triple H do what he does best. And I do think Triple H does a very good job. I do think that the move to USA Network, he's being told what to do as far as his handling of NXT. It's not the same Triple H operating NXT now like it was then. Something is not right there. Big main roster influence on NXT. 2 hours is not good for NXT. 1 hour should be the max. Justin Strickland with a $9.99 super chat. Alexander Wolf said in an interview that Triple H gets pissed off when NXT talents aren't being used on the main roster. Says Triple H tries to bring his talents back, but Vince keeps saying no. For the reasons that I just gave you before, Justin. I don't work there. I don't know anybody there, but I know how these people would definitely operate, man. I know for sure how they would operate. Davey Thompson with a $5 super chat. Hey, JD, I had to cancel my membership for now because we're moving, but I will be back. No problem, Davey. I know moving sucks, so good luck with that. Francisco Coronado, $2 super chat. I want that Shawn Michaels shirt. Well, with this super chat, you're automatically entered into the drawing on Friday night. Chillin' with McMillan with a $10 super chat. The saddest part of Braun's release, other than him losing his job, is we'll never get to hear the Strowman Express impressions anymore. I'm sorry, man. When the Strowman Express is back in business, you guys will know. Mr. Premium with a $4.99 super chat. This is quite the predicament WWE's got themselves into. I'm curious to see what might actually happen next. I don't expect it's going to be good, Mr. Premium. I honestly think it's going to get worse before it even begins to get better. Versified with a $4.99 super chat. I fucking hate creative. I fucking hate it more than when they defend WWE with their creative decisions that the fans like you and me express our opinions. I hate everything about these goons in creative. I hate all the fans that defend WWE and make excuses. It sucks. It absolutely sucks. Linda Carter with a $5 super chat. Alistair Black was undefeated for almost a year on Raw. Never got a title shot. Not to mention, at Money in the Bank, he should have won. Not Otis. I agree. Aleister Black or AJ Styles should have won Money in the Bank. I would have even taken Corbin, to be quite honest with you. Seeing how it ended up with The Miz. Brian Finelli with a $4.99 super chat. I feel for the human behind the character. One who sat in catering or worked the pandemic, returning to a live crowd was taken from them. That sucks. They'll be back in front of live fans sooner rather than later, bro. Moshmaster D with a $5 super chat. We could also say goodbye to Breezango. They'll be Impact bound. Did they get released? I don't think they got released. I think Tyler Breeze has a nice, comfy coaching job at the Performance Center. Ben Gibson with a $5 super chat. The $8 million Nick Khan spent on a mansion he doesn't need should have been spent on the talent instead. Yeah, don't tell people that on social media. I don't even know if Nick Khan has a Twitter or a social media. He would probably be best to stay off of it, knowing that information is out there. Juan L with a $2 super chat. Most of New Generation Pro Wrestling is in AEW. And will continue to be. Jericho 8131 with a $10 super chat. Andrade, Alistair Black, and Joe could have been WWE's next top guys, but they got fired while WWE remains shin deep in the money. This company is so useless. They deserve whatever misfortunes come their way. I saw Meltzer tweeted that the ratings were down 10% or so from last week. He didn't mention what show, but I'm assuming it's Raw. DJ with a $9.99 super chat. I'm dying to see Ruby in the AEW Women's Division. They really need someone like her, and to see what Braun will go and do next and see what he can really do in the ring. The Shadow 778 with a $2 super chat. Thank you, bro. And thank you, DJ, with the $9.99. Keith Lee and Jeff Hardy honestly deserved better. Were they released? Why are you saying deserved? They're not released yet. Bobby Trizzle becomes a new member, bro. You're sitting VIP back there, man. What are you drinking, Bobby Trizzle? Furious Nation with a $20 bomb. CM Punk was right a decade ago. WWE will be great again when Vince is gone. The sooner Triple H takes over, the better WWE will be as a whole. He would bring all of these guys and girls back because he actually cares. That CM Punk promo is one of my favorites ever, man. So much truth to it. It's so beautiful. Matthew Malnar with a $5 super chat. You think Tommy End will be AEW bound? Yes, I do. Laura Conway with a $1.99 super chat. JD, you rock. Thank you for the updates and the great extra. Thank you, Laura. Magician Sapphire, Alistair, and Ruby would definitely be great pickups for AEW. Hopefully when things open back up on the indies can be stronger than ever and wrestlers can have more options. Bobby Trizzle, I see you, bro. You're a vodka man. What type of vodka, bro? We got them all. You want Tito's? You want Absolute? You want Grey Goose? What do you want? Magician, I agree with you. The indies are going to be very strong again, man. Lots of places to work for everybody. Everybody's going to be doing their thing. Cryptic Silver with a New Zealand $5 super chat all the way from Australia. Or around that region. Sorry for the New Zealanders who listen to me and think that's part of Australia. I believe they're separate. We'd love to see Tommy End and Darby's creativity being used together in AEW. That's also another pairing, I could say. I could definitely see that as well. DV Acme with a $5 super chat. Ruby would be amazing as a locker room leader, on-screen talent, and trainer in AEW. She'd raise the quality of the division massively. I think everybody is in agreement with that, Acme, for sure. Drizzy Drew with a $4.99 super chat. How will AEW manage signing these people without overshadowing the new up-and-coming talent coming in and more dark signings? Bro, they don't have everybody signed to a contract that works dark and elevation. They're on a pay-per-appearance deal. You're going to differentiate Dynamite and Rampage from dark and elevation. It's not going to be the same. You just limit the amount of people you bring in for those shows. It's not going to be 16, 17 matches deep every week. You're not going to be paying as many people as you do now. It'll work out. Not everybody's going to be signed. Some people will be signed. Most of them will go back to the indies and work and maybe get back to that point again. And AEW is going to spend their money where they need to. Andrade, Black, Ruby, Mickey, Joe, Brian. Brandon Johnson with a $4.99 super chat. Too bad it'll never happen, but WWE needs to release Bruce Pritchard. Only savior of the WWE right now is JD. I wish. Bruce needs to go, though. Hollywood guy with a $5 super chat. I won't mind a Thunder Rosa versus Ruby Riott. I won't mind that either, man. Bryce Shea Gainus. $2.99 super chat. What's the possibility of them releasing Nakamura? Hi. I believe he wants out as well. And like I mentioned before, you know, some of these people, they're released because they are making too much money, and others have virtually asked for their release for months now. I could definitely see Nakamura being released. Bobby Trizzle with a $5 super chat. AEW All Out. Stock just rose with all these new releases. Also, this is one of the best OTS extras. I don't have to agree with you, Bobby. Had a great time doing this, man. One of our biggest audiences ever. It's like a pay-per-view night. Otis Ent with a $5 super chat. I feel that Bray will be released and go to AEW for Brody. By the way, isn't his dad at AEW? I don't think so. I don't think Bray is getting released. I don't think WWE is that stupid. Well, they are stupid, but that would be ridiculous. I think they may melt social media. Daryl in the chat, I see you, brother. Heidi Lovelace, get used to saying it. You heard the man. You heard the man. Daniel Rodriguez, $4.99 super chat. Will miss you falling off your chair doing the wee. I'm Braun Strowman. Still love you. Don't go JD Negan on me. Bro, the chair was broken already, so the fact that I fell wasn't planned at all. It was actually an accident. Omni Entertainment with a $5 UK Braun. What was that about being released during a pandemic? Also, Tommy End and Zelina would be a power couple in Impact Wrestling. Tommy End is too good for Impact, man. Though a Tommy End versus Sami Callihan match does entice me greatly. Bone Licks with a $1.99 Super Chat. Imagine Buddy Murphy versus Sammy G. Take my money. That's another one. Eric DeBronze, $4.99 Super Chat. I wouldn't be surprised if Triple H is selling his stock in order to purchase or form his own Fed. Just my opinion. That's not happening. Not while he is employed to WWE. Tribal Chief with a Canadian $5. Imagine if they built up Murphy as a face after the Rollins feud. The matches with Reigns would have been so nice. He did have that one match against Reigns way back when Reigns was a babyface, and I believe he had that match with Bryan as well. They tried, but they just found no interest in it. He's a great wrestler. Buddy Murphy should be picked up immediately by anybody, and they would be lucky to have him. Mon Taylor with a $4.99 Super Chat. Leaves no message. Thank you for the tips for the bartenders, bro. I appreciate it. Deshaun Turner with a $4.99 Super Chat. Remember Murphy versus Reigns at that one SmackDown episode and with Bryan. What the fuck is wrong with this company? I just literally mentioned that, man. Two great matches that WWE followed up on with nothing. They followed nothing after that. Lauren Hutton with a $2 Super Chat. Shocked about Alistair and Ruby's release. What the fuck? And Pharaoh Kid with a $2.99 Super Chat. I see Liv Gone and Mia and Keith. I hope not. Those are the names being rumored, man. Those are the names being rumored right now. I don't want to make any speculation. I don't want to put something out there when it's not really fact. But if it happens, I wouldn't be surprised. Liv, Mia, Keith Lee, Gulak. He's another big contract. Nakamura, Hardy. These are big names, man. It's not a joke. Look at these names that WWE's just like. You could legitimately start your own promotion with all these names, man, and have top talent on day one. Davey Thompson with a $2 Super Chat. I wonder where Eric Redbeard will go. He's a non-factor, bro. I don't know. He's still floating out there. If AEW wanted him, he would have been brought in already. Anyway, guys, I appreciate the love today for the 2 hours, man. I didn't really expect to come on here and do live from the venue, but I'm glad I did, man. When breaking news happens, this is where you want to be. You want to be inside the venue right here, off the script. But I'm going to take the rest of the day off, man. If anything breaks, we'll cover it. I'll be here in some way, shape, or form. Hooligram, $5 Super Chat. 2.3K in the chat. OTS is the place to be. We need a t-shirt with Vince's face saying, killing the business. OTS for life. I could really make a lot of money off these fucking situations. You are correct, my friend. But guys, I am getting out of here, man. I'm going to take a shower. It's fucking hot in New York City. It's humid, but not hot. Humid, sticky, muggy. Gonna jump on Destiny. Maybe the guys are doing the raid. Get some lunch. If anything breaks this afternoon, I will be back in some way with a video or a live stream talking about it, just like we did here today, man. If you guys are new, hit that subscribe button. You're gonna want to be around, man. This is the number one place to be, the coolest place to be in the IWC, right here on OTS. Hit that thumbs up. Thank you for the 1,500 likes. And make sure you guys follow me on social media, man, at JD from NY206. Guys, I'm getting out of here. I'm getting in the Mustang. I'm about to hit the highway. I got my cold beverage on ice already. I need two things from you guys right now. Number one, give me those guitar emojis in the chat. Number two, that music you're listening to, I want it on max. I'll see you guys on Friday live for SmackDown and Dynamite. And if there's any more releases, right here on the channel this afternoon or possibly tomorrow. I'll see you guys later.